All right, guys. So yesterday, well, I guess technically this morning, I made this post on my community page, which got a lot more engagement than what I expected. So this was asking you guys, what would you rate this piece of gear right here? So it's a speed set piece, crit damage with attack percentage, ascension, which could be changed, of course, with speed, crit rate, triple roll essentially. So the mythic pre-roll is essentially just you get the beginning stat, you get the mythic adding on a roll before you even level up the piece, and then the two more rolls from taking it from level 0 to 16, and then double roll attack. And then we got some HP. Now, before I get into actually ranking this piece, I want to share with you guys, because I feel like some people may not actually know this, but what did I mean when I said it low rolled crit rate? If you come over here to this spreadsheet, this is a spreadsheet I did a long time ago. I'm going to leave it linked down below in case you're interested, but this gives you the roll ranges for all the different stats. Now, I don't have the quintuple roll, which is essentially a mythic that quad rolls as well, but this will give you a very good breakdown. So this piece right here has basically 3 rolls plus the beginning roll. So it's essentially 4 rolls total. So 4 rolls, 24% divided by 4 is, well, 6, right? 24 divided by 4 is 6. So 6% on average per roll is what this crit rate, or this crit damage glove rolled in crit rate. If you come over here, look at this substat sheet, this is essentially a triple roll crit rate piece. Well, triple roll crit rate, the numbers, the minimum you could have is 20%, the maximum is 28%. So we're somewhere right in the middle of that. So while it didn't go great rolls, it didn't go the lowest rolls, it went kind of in the middle. So if it was 20%, that'd be a lot better. Obviously, I don't gotta say that. But then as far as the attack percentage, how does that look? Well, this is a double roll attack. So it's essentially adding attack percentage 3 times because of the beginning one. So double roll attack, the best we could get is 18% for a double roll attack, and we got 19%. Well, that's wrong because that's a 5-star piece. I tricked you guys, making sure you're paying attention. The best we get is 21%. So a 6-star piece, attack percentage, the best you get is 21%. I landed on 19%, which is pretty solid, I'd say. Now for the speed, the best is 6, the lowest is 5, so I got the 5 for the lowest. Now, as far as the rating of this piece goes, before I give you guys the rating that I would say, I want to share with you guys what the Hell Hades Optimizer says this piece of gear would be rated as. So we're coming to the gloves, and then we're going to go show set speed and see what does Hell Hades give it. I bet it's going to say godlike. I can almost guarantee that. Let's see. Where is it at? Resistance? No, I was looking at something else earlier. So there we go. This is it, I believe. Yeah, so godlike piece. Now, there's a lot of nuances that go into ranking a piece, and it's not a 1 through 10 scale like I'm going to share with you guys here, but a godlike rating is a very fair rating. With that said, don't rely on the Hell Hades website to give you the breakdown for the gear that you should keep and sell. You should understand gear before you're selling stuff in general. Now, the Hell Hades website does give a pretty good idea, but I mean, they can't go through everything because there's only so many things you could add into the code to, hey, what makes a godlike piece versus a trash piece, so on and so forth. So I got plenty of pieces of gear in my account that are labeled as average or maybe even weak, but actually work out perfectly on the specific champions. Now, as far as this piece of gear, what did the comments say? I was actually quite surprised that most of the comments were honestly, I'd say, pretty spot on with the ranking of this gear. Now, it was 7 or 8, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 personally, and I'll explain why in just a moment. A solid 8. We have an 8 there, 9 out of 10, a lot of 8s, a lot of 9 out of 10s. We had some 7s as well. But what would a 10 out of 10 piece be to me? Well, if this was a speed piece, speed set specifically is a little bit unique because if you're looking for an arena nuker, this piece isn't going to be the best thing for them. The best thing for an arena nuker is going to be something like Cruel plus Savage. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Raid open right now, so let's go ahead and open Raid so I can actually show you guys in the game. Don't know why I closed it, but the best thing for a nuker is going to be something like my Rotos has, which is a Cruel weapon with quad roll speed. So Rotos right here have his weapon, quad roll speed on the weapon. We have Cruel plus lethal. So we have all the defense ignore I could possibly get. This is a great damage dealer set. Where if you look at my Wukong, he doesn't have as much defense ignore because he has speed plus lethal. So ideally, it's going to be lethal, savage, plus cruel. But in this situation, this pair of gloves, this could be amazing on a champion like Newt, a champion like Acrizia, a champion who needs crit damage, crit rate, but could also use a lot of speed. Now, not so much for Newt because he's a defense-based champion and this is all attack percentage stuff, but Acrizia, this could work out great on her, especially if you switch this over to crit damage. It's going to be even better then because now you're going to be hitting the max HP easier. You can get plenty of speed from other places. I mean, essentially a triple roll crit rate is very, very good for a pair of crit damage gloves. So this piece would be great for an Acrisia for Hydra content, because you're already hitting the max HP anyways. For an arena champion, it's not going to be top of the line. Now, when I'm saying top of the line, I'm talking about like a Savage, Cruel, or Lethal piece. Now, that doesn't mean this piece is bad whatsoever. As far as my personal rating, I would give this piece probably a 7.5, because for some situations, it'll be an 8. And for some situations, I could see it being a 7. For the arena, it'd be more like a 7. It's amazing. It's a great piece of gear, but you may be better off just going Cruel and getting more of that defense ignore, because it makes a big difference versus throwing this piece of gear on there. Now, there's a big argument to be made that the arena is also moving more toward a speed meta. So having more speed on your champions is becoming more and more important. And this piece takes a quarter of your crit rate needs and basically puts it all on this piece. So you don't have to worry about crit rate too much from any other pieces, because this piece has it, meaning that your other pieces could have plenty of speed and you don't have to worry about that. So in arena situations, if you have to sacrifice the defense ignore, but you're pushing a lot of speed, which is very, very common, then this piece becomes amazing for you. And Hydra and PvE content, so like on a Cold Heart, on a Royal Guard, or a Husk, this piece easily becomes an 8, maybe even a 9 for those champions, because the max HP cap isn't so difficult to hit that you need Savage plus Cruel to make that work. So this piece is very, very good for PvE content, essentially. And then for PvP, it definitely is going to find its place depending on where you're at in the game. Some players, this is that would be your best piece of gear on your account. And for other players, you'd be determining if you even want to keep it or sell it, basically. So that's just the difference between ultra in-game Kraken whales and, mid-game players. There's a huge range. But ultimately, I think the comments in general agree that this piece is basically like a 7 or 8. Some people leaning a little bit higher and some people leaning a little bit lower. But remember, if you're giving it a 10 out of 10, then what would you rank something like, let's say, that Rhodos weapon that I showed you? I think most people would agree that this Rhodos weapon is better than that pair of gloves as far as the rolls. Now that glove, it is rarer. It's more difficult to get because of the great main stat as well as everything else. But still, the rolls here are very good. There is an argument to be made there. A well-rolled top piece is more easily replaced than a well-rolled bottom piece. A very well-rolled bottom piece is very hard to come by because you have a lot more RNG factors. You have differing main stats. You have the substats, which could be all kinds of stuff. You have the set that it's in, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of variance to that. Whereas the top pieces, it's always going to be the same main stat. There's even less substats to be chose from as well. Also on these pieces, like a shield, it's not going to have attack percentage. In case you didn't know that, look for a shield with attack percentage. Well, guess what? You're not going to find it because shields cannot have attack percentage. There is a place somewhere in here where you can actually see, I think it's the filter maybe, the eye. You can scroll down and see what pieces can have what substats and main stats. So if you're ever interested and ever curious, this is what the breakdown's like. Now, if you have that pair of gloves like I've shown, I'd seen somebody comment that it would be great with crit damage substat, but you can't actually have the same substat as you do main stat. So unfortunately, that wouldn't work. Now, looking at this piece, what would be a better setup? For me, this is a speed set. You're looking for speed. You want your champions to be fast. This attack percentage roll is nice to have, but honestly, if this was moved to speed, I think this piece would move up 1 for me. Because while attack percentage is amazing, it's a speed set. You're going for more speed. You can match this set pretty easily. You don't want this to be a slow set. So it's not like a broken set. A broken set would be a different approach, but this is a set that you can definitely complete. So we're going for more speed. Move these 2 rolls of attack up into speed, and now all of a sudden we have, let's check this out, double roll speed. We have a range of 15 to 18 for the 6-star. So 15 to 18 speed on this piece of gear, and now all of a sudden, this is looking pretty good. So your champion is now going to be fast. We have a lot of crit rate rolls. We have good crit damage. We have some more attack percentage from the Ascension as well. So now you can just pick up the extra attack percentage from other places. You can pick up some extra speed, extra crit rate from other places as well. But you're going to be able to hit a lot higher champion thresholds because speed and crit rate, obviously crit rate, you want to get to 100%. Speed, you want to get to a certain level. And then attack percentage, crit damage, and everything like that, you can just fill in wherever you want after that point in time. So that's my breakdown of this piece of gear. That's what my opinions of it are essentially. So hopefully you guys, let me know what you think actually. You don't have to agree with me. Obviously this is very subjective. So if you don't agree with me, let me know. What do you think this piece of gear is rated? If you haven't already commented down below, like I said, this had a lot more engagement than what I expected. It was very cool to see. I like talking about gear. Speaking of, I plan on possibly doing a gear cleansing video very soon, which is going to be long, guys. So like you may want to plan a family movie night. Sounds horrible, I know, but it's going to be, if I did a gear cleanse, I got basically full here and I got a lot of accessories to go through and I got a big inbox full of stuff to go through as well. So if I did this, it would probably be at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for the artifacts, and then probably an hour at least for the accessories as well. I'd probably separate it into 2 videos because nobody's going to sit down and watch that entire video probably. I don't know if I even would, but hey, maybe you throw it on family movie night and your family hates you forever. I don't know, but I would love to do it as much as one could love doing an artifact and gear cleanse. That's how much I would love it. But either way, I am interested in doing that. If you guys would find value in that, I can do the videos. If not, I'll just do it myself off the video. Honestly, I'm probably going to do a video either way because if I'm going to do it, you guys can enjoy it with me, right? But in all honesty, I think it is something a lot of players can benefit from, learning what gears to sell, what gear to keep, or at least my thoughts and opinions on it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you know your account better than, hopefully better than a lot of players do. Of course, it depends on where you're at in the game, yada, yada, yada. But you know what gear you need to keep, what gear you need to sell. Like this, I'm not going to use this. Unless it quad rolls, I'm not going to use it at all. Which, does it quad roll in this video and I re-roll it into speed? That'd be sick. Whoa, we had to actually about to have that happen? Let's rework it anyway, just for the video. I don't typically do this, but go speed. Okay, no, it doesn't go speed. Of course, it goes resistance and accuracy, which I'm not going to be used. I want speed on these pieces anyway, so it's just going to be a sell. If it would have went speed, that would have been beautiful, but it didn't, unfortunately. So I will go through and do all this stuff and kind of give a breakdown of the pieces I sell. It won't be a thorough breakdown necessarily because, honestly, you don't want to sit through all that. It'd be too crazy. That piece, probably not even worth rolling anyways. But what I do essentially, well, I'll break that down in the gear cleansing video. But guys, for now, I want to say thank you all for watching the video. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.